Good morning everyone. Basa na tayo ng Bible. Schedule natin ay pang October 2, 2021. Isaiah chapter 14, 15, and 16. And Ephesians chapter 5 verse 1 to 16. Hinati niya. Dito muna tayo sa Ephesians 1 to 16. Ephesians 5 chapter 5 verse 1 to 16. Basa. Be imitators of God, therefore as dearly loved children, and live a life of love just as Christ loved us and gave himself up for us as a fragrant offering and sacrifice to God. But among you there must not be even a hint of sexual immorality, or of any kind of impurity, or of greed, because these are improper for God's holy people. Nor should there be obscenity, foolish talk, or coarse joking, which are out of place, but rather thanksgiving. For of this you can be sure, no immoral, impure, or greedy person, such a man, is an idolater, has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and of God. Let no one deceive you with empty words, for because of such things God's wrath comes on those who are disobedient. Therefore do not be partners with them. So umiwas sa mga disobedient, guys. Therefore do not be partners with them. For you were one darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light, for the fruit of the light consists in all goodness, righteousness, and truth. And find out what pleases the Lord. Have nothing to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, but rather expose them. For it is shameful even to mention what the disobedient do in secret. But everything exposed by the light becomes visible, for it is light that makes everything visible. This is why it is said, Wake up, O sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity because the days are evil. So hanggang dyan lang siya, guys. Bukas na yung verse 17. Dito na tayo sa Isaiah chapter chapter 14, 15, and 16. Mahaba-haba siya, guys. 15, 16. Basa. Isaiah chapter 14. The Lord will have compassion on Jacob. Once again, He will choose Israel and will settle them in their own land. Kami rin. Aliens will join them and unite with the house of Jacob. Nations will take them and bring them to their own place. And the house of Israel will possess the nations as men servants and maid servants in the Lord's land. They will make captives of their captors and rule over the oppressors. On the day the Lord gives you relief from suffering and turmoil and cruel bondage, you will take up this taunt against the king of Babylon. Pumipiyok na si Ralph. Ang hirap magbasa pag madaling araw. Ganyan si Ralph. Walang ginawa kundi pumiyok. How the oppressor has come to an end. How his fury has ended. The Lord has broken the rod of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers, which in anger struck down peoples with unceasing blows, and fury subdued nations with relentless aggression. All the lands are at rest and at peace. They break into singing, even the pine trees And the cedars of Lebanon exult over you and say, now that you have been laid low, no woodsman comes to cut us down. The grave below is all astir to meet you at your coming. It rouses the spirits of the departed to greet you, all those who were leaders in the world. It makes them rise from their thrones, all those who were kings over the nations. They will all respond. They will say to you, you also have become weak as we are. You have become like us. All your pomp has been brought down to the grave, along with the noise of your harps. Maggots are spread out beneath you, and worms cover you. Eh, syempre, para sa akin, dead is dead na yan. Nakalagay kasi, and worms cover you. How you have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn. You have been cast down to the earth, you who once laid low the nations. You said in your heart, I will ascend to heaven, I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mount of assembly, on the utmost heights of the sacred mountain. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds. I will make myself like the Most High, but you are brought down to the grave, to the depths of the pit. Those who see you stare at you, they ponder your fate. Is this the man who shook the earth and made kingdoms tremble? The man who made the world a desert, who overthrew its cities and would not let his captives go home? Verse 18. All the kings of the nations lie in state, it's in his own tomb. But you are cast out of your tomb like a rejected branch. You are covered with the slain, with those pierced by the sword, those who descend to the stones of the pit like a corpse trampled underfoot. You will not join them in burial, for you have destroyed your land and killed your people. The offspring of the wicked will never be mentioned again. Prepare a place to slaughter his sons. For the sins of their forefathers, they are not rise to inherit the land and cover the earth with their cities. Verse 22. I will rise up against them, declares the Lord Almighty. I will cut off from Babylon her name and survivors, her offspring and descendants. I will turn her into a place for owls. Wait lang guys. Ulitin natin yung verse 22. I will rise up against them, declares the Lord Almighty. I will cut off from Babylon her name and survivors, her offspring and descendants, declares the Lord. Verse 23. I will turn her into a place for owls, and into swampland. I will sweep her with the broom of destruction, declares the Lord Almighty. A prophecy against Assyria, verse 24. The Lord Almighty has sworn, surely as I have planned, so it will be, and I have purposed, so it will stand. I will crush the Assyria in my land. On my mountains I will trample him down. His yoke will be taken from my people, and his burden removed from their shoulders. This is the plan determined for the whole world. This is the hand stretched out over all nations. Sa verse 26 guys, oh. This is the plan determined for the whole world. This is the hand stretched out over all nations. For the Lord Almighty has purposed, and who can thwart him? His hand is stretched out, and who can turn it back? A prophecy against the Philistines. Verse 28. This oracle came in the year King Ahaz died. Do not rejoice, all your Philistines, that the rod that struck you is broken. From the roof of that snake will spring up hala, nagbabakal na tayo. Ulit, verse 29. Do not rejoice, all you Philistines, that the rod that struck you is broken. From the root of that snake will spring up a viper. Its fruit will be a darting, venomous serpent. Verse 30, the poorest of the poor will find pasture, and the needy will lie down in safety. The poorest of the poor. Ito yung laging binibigyan ng ayuda ng government natin. The poorest of the poor. Sa verse 30, kahit pala sa Bible sila din ang inano. The poorest of the poor will find pasture, and the needy will lie down in safety. But your wrath I will destroy by famine. It will slay your survivors. So kahit saan mo tingnan sa Bible or sa totoong nating buhay, very lucky yung the poorest of the poor. Pero need din natin magsikap, oy. So 31, verse 31. Wall o gate, hall o city, melt away all you Philistines. A cloud of smoke comes from the north. And reaction ko lang yan, ha. Kailangan natin magsikap, guys, para hindi palagi umasa sa ano. Okay, verse 31. Well, O gate, hall, O city, melt away all you Philistines. A cloud of smoke comes from the north, and there is not a struggler in its ranks. What answer shall be given to the envoys of that nation? The Lord has established Zion, and in her his afflicted people all will find refuge. Chapter 15. A prophecy against Moab. An oracle concerning Moab. Are in Moab is ruined, destroyed in a night. Care in Moab is ruined, destroyed in a night. Devon goes up to its temple, to its high places to weep. Moab wails over Nebo and Medeba. Every head is shaved, and every bird cut off. In the streets they wear sackcloth, on the roofs and in the public squares. They all wail. Prostrate with weeping, Heshbon and Elealeh cry out. Their voices are heard all the way to Jahaz. Therefore the armed men of Moab cry out, and their hearts are faint. My heart cries out over Moab, her fugitives flee as far as Zoar, as far as Eglath, Shelishia. They go up the way to Luhith, weeping as they go. On the road to Horonaim, they lament their destruction. The waters of Nimrim are dried up, and the grass is withered. The vegetation is gone, and nothing green is left. So the wealth they have acquired and stored up, that they carry away over the ravine of the poplars. Their outcry echoes along the border of Moab. Their wailing reaches as far as Eglaim. Their lamentation as far as Beer-elim. Demons' waters are full of blood, but I will bring still more upon Demon, a lion, upon the fugitives of Moab, and upon those who remain in the land. Chapter 16 na tayo. Send lambs as tribute to the ruler of the land, from Selah across the desert to the mount of the daughter of Zion. Like fluttering birds pushed from the nest, so are the women of Moab at the fords of the Arnon. Give us counsel, render a decision, make your shadow like night at night. Make your shadow like night at high noon. Hide the fugitives, do not betray the refugees. Let the Moabite fugitives stay with you, be their shelter from the destroyer. The oppressor will come to an end, and destruction will cease. The aggressor will vanish from the land, and love a throne will be established. In faithfulness a man will sit on it, one from the house of David, one who in judging seeks justice and spreads the cause of righteousness. Bilis na guys. We have heard of Moab's pride, her overweening pride and conceit, her pride and her insolence, but her boasts are empty. Therefore the Moabites they will together for Moab lament and grieve, for the men of Kir Hareseth. The fields of Heshbon with their divines of Zibmah, also the rulers of the nations have trampled down the choicest vines, which once reached ano to? Ay, wait lang guys. Habang nagmamadali tayo, lalo na magtuloy natatagalan. Sa verse 8 ulitin natin. Isaiah chapter 16 verse 8. The fields of Heshbon with her divines of Zibmah, also the rulers of the nations have trampled down the choicest vines, which once reached Jazeh, and spread toward the desert. Their shoots spread out and went as far as the sea, so I weep as Jazer weeps for the vines of Zibmah. O Heshbon, O Elele, I drench you with tears, the shouts of joy over your ripened fruit, and over your harvest have been stilled. Joy and gladness are taken away from the orchards. Orchards. No one sings or shouts in the vineyards, no one treads out wine of the presses. So, for I have put an end for the shouting, my heart laments for Moab. Like a harp, my inmost being for Kir Hareseth. When Moab appears at her high place, she only wears herself out. When she goes to her shrine to pray, it is to no avail. Verse 13. This is the word of the Lord. This is the word the Lord has already spoken concerning Moab. But now the Lord says, within 3 years, as a servant bound by contract, would count them Moab's splendor, and all her many people will be despised, and her survivors will be very few and feeble. Bye everyone. God bless.